Hi. So, this past Sunday, I made these cushion covers for my couch. And they came out really well, but they are just a little too big, even though I took measurements. But the seam I decided to use, I had measured with making a 1/2 inch seam allowance for the cushions all the way, and when I got to the machine I said, let's just stick with a 1/4 inch for right now, because I was a little nervous. And so when I put on the cushions on, it was a little bit loose. So I'm going back to my original plan, and I'm going to make these seam allowances 1/2 inch and see where we go from there. And then I want to put zips at the tops of the cushions. My husband is doing dishes, which is great. I love it. So yeah, so I'm gonna go see. I did only a 1/4 inch, so I'm going to make a 1/2 inch. And I want to show you a little tip for when I get to the corners, because I want nice crisp corners. So I hope I have enough thread in my bobbin, and we are going to go for it. I'm going to lower y'all down now so we get a better angle of the machine. So all I did on Sunday was I got my cushion and I placed it on this fabric that I had a little bit over from other cushions that I made a whiles back. So now I'm lining it up. I'm going to use some of my tools I've spent all my hard-earned money on. I need that. I'm going to get this in a safer spot. Okay, so here's my seam gauge, and I'm going to put that. I have my line here on here. I'm going to put my light on as well, so you can just see here the needle plate. My needle plate has all these: a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, a 3/4 inch, and a 1 inch. And I imagine 1 1/4 inch there, but it's not labeled. But they're all a 1/4 inch size lines. Okay, so I have my seam, my little gauge here on the 1/2 inch mark. And I'm gonna see, can I lower that another little bit, get you as close as I can. So this great little thing here is, I'm gonna lift this up, and here it is now. It was at the 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I didn't use this the other day. I just used the line, but we're going to use it now, and we're going for it. So here we go. Now I have to be careful because I made a little join here. Down again. Because they're mostly straight lines, we can really go for it here, which I love. Now yeah, so this was some fabric I bought. I made little cushion covers, and I bought some cushions and sold some cushions at a market, and I had some left over, so some of this fabric left over, and I thought, you know what, that might be cute for a little while, to see this cow print on the couch there. So now I'm approaching my corner, and I want to go, I'm eyeballing where, let me see, I'm eyeballing from 1/2 inch this way. So I have a 1/2 inch left on the square, coming to the end of the square, and then on top, that's on the bottom, the square is on the bottom, and then on, or rectangle, whatever. Then I have this strip that I joined that's going around the cushion for the side, which was 5.5 inches. So I have my needle down, I'm taking my foot off the pedal because you just never know. So I'm going to now pull all of this bulk around by the needle, and I'm going to make a snip on the side. It's a bit difficult to do with this thing in the way. I have to move that out of the way. So I'm making a snip now up to, actually I'm going to make it in both of them because I've already got the 1/4 inch seam sewn into it. So I'm trying to releasing the older stitching so that I can have a flat corner when it comes to it. I'm trying to pull the bulk of the fabric and flatten it. Okay, and now I'm grabbing with my right hand, I'm grabbing everything while I hold the bulk on the side panel. I'm holding that down as tightly as I can, and now I'm pulling everything around, pivoting, as they say. Now I can see it's going to, I haven't snipped the corner enough into it for that to lay flat. So if I had done this originally with my idea that I was going to have a 1/2 inch seam allowance, I wouldn't be having this situation now. And I guess, you know, when you don't know, you don't know. You just have to trial and error. Okay, that's going to lay flatter now. That is going to lay flatter, and I'm pulling everything, holding this firmly. And there we are, we're at the 1/2 inch mark now. Put in my little tool back so I can keep that seam as straight as possible. I'm going to be going, I'm going to need to visit this corner again because there is some bulk, which is not going to be visually nice when I flip everything out. But we will revisit that. We're just going to get our seams done here. And as I'm going to give myself a little more space before I get to the next corner. And I may rip out the previous stitching. Okay, we've got a bit to go. So I'm just, right now I'm trying to flatten down anything that's going to, okay, I'm stopping here. I have about 4 or 5 inches there of room for myself. So when I come down now to this corner here, and I have a join in this fabric. Actually, you know what I might do? I'm going to just release that stitching. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to release that stitching in there. This was not ever supposed to be a great masterpiece because it's just a temporary fix to tidy up my couch, the look of my couch. And like I say, I was just using what I had. So I'm releasing this stitching. Okay, so just in case it causes a bubble, sometimes it's better to rip a little bit more than you think, especially when you're doing alterations. If you rip a little bit extra, say in a waistband, just so you have more, it just makes things a little easier for you to ease things back into place. I've made an area smaller, so it's helpful. So that's what I'm using, that rule of thumb here. I might not be using enough. Ripping. Okay, so let's see what happens when we go up here. So we want this 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm going to lift that up out of the way. It doesn't always stay up, but it's good. It's staying up right now. All right, so we want that to come here at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go up like there was nothing ever there, which it's working. Okay, and that's about there. Of course, I'm eyeballing that. My snips isn't as sharp as I'd like it to be. I'm taking my foot off my pedal, and I'm going, where had I snipped before there? Okay, so I want that laying down here. So it's just the top one I want to snip, and I want to snip at a bit of a angle, like on the corner. We don't want to snip up as far as the stitch line that I want to make. Okay, that's that. Where's my, oh, I lost shot of that. Okay, hold on. I have to back this up a bit. Oh, okay. I need to go back a little bit more. Need to snip it there. Darryl, you're in my video. Just let you know, okay? Were you trying to do something there?
I was trying to get a cup of coffee.
Okay, work away. I filled it with water, so you just need your coffee pot. Is it in?